ගන්න සින්දුවක් මේක ඔක්කොම කියමු. හෙළ ජාතික අභිමානේ වැටු විරුවන්සේ පොරනේ විරුමව් බිම සව් සිරියෙන් සරසව් පිබිදෙව් සැරදෙව් හෙළ ජාතික අභිමානේ වැටු
මේ ආපන්
වතුරු කොට්ට
ආකුල ගනින්
ආතල්ලද
නව කාපන්
ජනතාවට
රට දීපන්
විකුණ
තව කාපන්
අය කන්දක්
ගොඩ ගහපන්
ඩොලර් නෑනු
ලෙව කාපන්
ඒ සෙල්ලව
නව තාපන්
ඈ වැටිච්ච
නරා වලේ
අවල් වැටුණු
කිමද බොලේ
වරටම
ගහපු වෙලේ
අපි තව කෙනෙකුට අවස්ථාව දෙමු. ඉවසුවා හොඳටම අපි හොඳට ගෙලින
military and military repression of legitimate protests and all of that history. The third thing I want to say, and we stand in solidarity with all of you, and we know that you'll be concerned, we know that you'll be worried, we know that you'll be very distressed.
අසාමාන්‍ය විදිහට හිටපු ගමන් කැබිනට් එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ නැති ජනතාවට වගේ කියන සාධාරණ ආණ්ඩුවක් කරා යන්න ඕන. මිනිස් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට අසීමිත බලතල නැති සාමාන්‍ය රාජ්‍ය සේවක තත්ත්වයක් දක්වා සීල් මේ රටවල තියෙන ඒ වගේ දෙයක්. ඒ තත්ත්වයක් දක්වා අපේ රටේ මේ එතෙක් වෙනකම් මේ අරගලය යා යුතුයි. ඒක තමයි අපේ අරමුණ. ඒ වගේම මම කියන්නේ කැමති අන්තිම වතාවට මම කියන්නේ කැමති ගෝඨා උඹ හැප්පුනේ වැරදි ජෙනරේෂන් එකත් එක්ක.
As a young Sri Lankan who has family in Sri Lanka, whose heart is breaking over what is happening in the country right now. Last month, the inflation rate in Sri Lanka was around 21%. There are power outages every day of up to 13 hours. The government does not have the money to pay for the fuel needed by the power plants. And at least 3 people have died in the lengthy queues outside of petrol stations. Due to its enormous debts, the Sri Lankan government cannot pay to import basic supplies, leading to mass shortages of food and life-saving medicine. People with serious medical conditions are struggling to find medicines, and hospitals have cancelled surgeries because they have no diesel to operate the generators that act as backups during blackouts. Enough is enough. The people of Sri Lanka are sick and tired of these conditions. Protests and demonstrations like this one today have been happening all around the world for months, especially in Sri Lanka, where people have been rallying every day to fight against financial mismanagement, poor policy choices, and the corruption that have had a hold on Sri Lankan politics for more than 2 decades. Tragically, on Tuesday,
So thank you for the introduction once again. So I have been involved in human rights since the age of 15. But my journey started from my motherland in Sri Lanka. My parents, of course, migrated to Australia when I was only 18 months. So I wasn't born in I was born in Sri Lanka, I wasn't born here. But my roots were always there. My catalyst to begin my journey in human rights, democratic affairs, to have a passion for human rights and liberal democracy started from Sri Lanka and everything wrong I saw in Sri Lanka. When I was about 8 years old, I went back to Sri Lanka. And my mom took me around, and there I saw, that was my catalyst. Children on the side of the road, no food, nothing to eat. And here I am, going to a restaurant, being able to eat. My first question was, Ammi, what makes me different to that child? That's my first thought. And at that point, my mom really couldn't answer. My mom said, there's no difference. But the difference is the government's ability and their willingness to support democracy. That's the difference. And so then I thought to myself, I took a step further. I didn't want to just sit down idle and not do anything about it. I thought to myself, well, no, I've got to do something about it. And so
පැදුරු කොට්ට ආතනියතේ ජනතාවට විකුණ ඩොලර් දානු මේ සෙල්ලම රෑ වැටිච්ච දවල් වැටුණු වඩ
I can well empathize with what the young generation is feeling today. Many speakers have spoken about the culture of division by race and religion and all of that. And I like the gentleman to bring my poster here. And this was my poster. Because I can vouch for that. From a prior generation, I was impacted by that. I never went to university in Sri Lanka, so I don't have a debt to pay them. And why was that? Because at the time I did my A-levels, they brought in standardization. I studied in the English language, I studied in a Colombo school, and therefore my marks were downgraded. So I missed out on university. I applied to join one of the forces as a cadet officer. I was in the finals of the selection panel, the selection group, and I was knocked out. Why? I'm a burglar and I'm a Catholic. And I was told that by a name I shall not mention here who's still around. That is why I think this is valid. Time to change Sri Lanka. Eliminate race, religious and language biases. Make it one country for all Sri Lankans. It's one country, but we have different Sri Lanka.